your chunks can be claimed.
Yeah. The default for power being offline is 0. So you can go to maximum or minimum of 0.
That's what I thought.
We can fix that, though.
Well, and also if you log off with negative power, I think it just stays at negative.
Yeah. But it would, if we decrease that, we give it an incentive to get rid of people, rather than just let them not contribute.
Good point. I don't think we should put it any less than, or any lower than like
-5.
-1 or -2. Really? -5?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to take 15 days if they're at maximum power when they start.
How quickly do you gain power just from being logged in?
Power
5 minutes, 4 points.
Do what?
5 minutes, 4 points.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
That's absurdly fast.
5 minutes, 1 point. Sorry, that's me being bad.
Okay,
Either way,
so
it's fast.
So an hour you have max 10. Almost. Yeah, an hour would be 10.
But I mean, I think 5 minutes for 1 point is fine.
Yeah.
Because you lose 4 if you die.
Point is not to die. You don't want to make it lucrative to just constantly throw yourself at another player. So.
Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps a builder could maybe the admins would have a special ability to claim, like, chunks for a builder. Perhaps builders could request the admin for space to build.
But at the same time, that kind of defeats the purpose of factions automating things. Why not just go back to residents at that point?
I'm just trying to find a way that, the builders can, build and not just have their constructions destroyed, but also perhaps make them, something for other factions to build around, or just landmarks to be fed land.
I still like the idea of residents, Daniel. I like if people can post a thread on the forums. They want to set up a town or something.
I don't dislike residents. I like residents quite a bit. I'm just bringing up argument. Probably, primarily, because that's going to be part of Whiskey's argument, I think. And he's not responding on Steam.
I'm just trying to think of it, because it seems as it is, even if the donors could have a certain amount of chunks, even 10 chunks is kind of limited in size. And yes, I know I love to build the monuments. That's just what I build, and they would have no reasonable way. Say if a larger faction just wants to conquer it and destroy it, that's. I'm just trying to find ways to work within the system. Give builders some independence.
For that, I really think we need 2 worlds, Pegasus. I don't think that the building type of world that you're wanting is the same as a warlike world like what we've got. At all. I don't think they're necessarily even comparably going to work together.
Honestly, I actually like Towny.
I like Towny too. Towny was buggy as hell. I like the idea of being able to start a town and then group towns together, become a kingdom, then group kingdoms together and become an empire. The other end of your it does need to be tweaked. It actually has not been tweaked anywhere near where it needs to be. Most server has not been tweaked near where it needs to be, and that is a completely different conversation that I need to have. But the other end of what you're bringing up, Robert, though, is that regardless of who it is, even if it's not the Watch, you're going to get a group of players that are really good at working together, are established at least with each other in some respect, and they're going to do better at everything than other players.
It's like Sashmaru, Penguin, and Full Mario on the last server.
Yeah, they were really good. They were actually effectively a foil to the group that is now the Watch.
4 people could take on. These 4 guys could take on an infinite number of people. Their teamwork was ridiculous.
Yeah, I kind of missed them.
The being offline, I think, is incidental. I really think that's just because college just started.
Also,
And high
Guild Wars
school.
2.
And Guild Wars 2 as well. So you've got 3 different things that are influencing people not being around.
Also, like 2 or 3 of our members are more social because it's people we know in real life, for example.
And then you've also got
CS:GO,
CS:GO, you've got the new add-on for Team Fortress 2. There are a lot of distractions outside of Minecraft, and some of the players that are not here, that are in the Watch, do tend to drift away and come back and drift away and come back.
There's also a lot of people with like family to take care of.
That too. Yeah.
And school started up again, so lots of people have stopped playing during the week.
Yeah.
Exactly. Summer is when everybody was here. Now that school is starting, everybody's gonna be busy for 9 months.
For the most part.
Yeah, that's why we have to extend the kick-out times for factions, because not everyone's going to be on weekly.
I was always saying it should be monthly.
But
regardless,
regardless,
a week is just so small.
Regardless, you are going to have people that are good at working together. Mauser Bronze, as much as I don't like him, is good at working together with people like Lehman Davenport and causing trouble for noobs.
Well, they're brothers.
Then there you go. But they're still good at working together. Not necessarily probably against either the Watch or the Guardians, but they're still good at working together.
Yeah, that's true. Like the entire Psychos faction knows each other in real life, but that's also about to be shut down because of them having school.
Yeah, and then there's any of us that are here on TeamSpeak that can actually talk to each other as opposed to having to text in game. That's an advantage completely.
Any news from Whiskey?
Nope, I'm going to text him. Hold on a second. He's going to curse at me eventually.
I don't give a shit. Just take it. Take Crafthub from me.
I don't want to take Crafthub. I couldn't do enough of Crafthub. I don't know how to code.
I can shake Crafthub.
Do what?
Ooh.
I can shake it.
Shake and bake?
More like shake a baby.
Shake a baby? Is that what you said?
Yes,
oh, great. I've been recorded by 3 different people saying I want to shake Crafthub like a baby.
There's something
Including
you have to
yourself.
realize. There's something you really have to realize about this conversation and Ramus's comments. Ramus is from New Jersey. Us folks from New Jersey make inappropriate jokes a lot.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it's not strictly New Jersey, but it's definitely a characteristic of New Jersey.
Wait, Edge, does it actually give you the message?
Well, you can spawn chickens? What?
Hold on. I'll test something.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah,
What?
What does it do?
I know why he's getting the message, I just want to see something.
Why is he getting the message?
Okay,
That
because
used to take you home or something.
MCMMO has a spell which consumes feathers to teleport you to your home location. Which is what I was going to suggest we use to get to spawn, because that way it costs something to get to spawn.
I'm not against the idea of
User in your channel started recording.
making or adding back the /spawn and taking away PTP if we have a way to restrict the use of /spawn to avoid or get away from combat.
Just put in PvP no command.
Why we don't have /spawn anymore?
Interesting fact. If you consume 10 feathers, you get teleported to spawn.
Interesting. We don't have we don't have spawn anymore because Honester was constantly PvPing people and then going /spawn to get back to spawn to escape getting killed.
Well, I
Or
don't know
to
if it
just
was
hobo
only
rush
on
people.
Honester.
Yeah, that
I
too.
think it's unfair to say just honest, but
No,
it was
well,
being abused.
that was one of the big things that brought it up, and it's one of the big things that brought it up. It's the most that I noticed it. At this point, though, however, you would have Mauser Bronze doing it, you would have Roger doing it, I'm sure you'd have Lehman Davenport doing it, and you'd have other ones, because I kicked Roger offline today, briefly, because I warned him not to stalk people at spawn after he said, I'm going to spawn to go kill people.
We actually stopped it after Mouser did it a lot. That's
I don't
when
think that
Whiskey
you're the only
noticed
one
it
who
the
ever
most.
did it, Honester. I think that you're the one I witnessed doing it the most. And that it changed shortly after I witnessed you doing a lot. I didn't change it, somebody else did. I would have changed it then and there if I thought I would have gotten yelled at.
Whiskey changed it after we witnessed Mouser do it a lot.
I hate my phone.
I wish there would be some kind of way to get to spawn by doing something that would take you like 10 seconds and then will take you to spawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
That'd be great.
Like a spell, I don't know, that will take you 10 seconds. And if you're like in combat or something, you're gonna get killed ASAP because you can't do anything.
Well, and it could even be that combat could end the effect. Like if you get smacked while it's going off, it just stops.
Exactly.
oh, Vegetor, there is one other stipulation. You have to have open sky above you. You have to be able to fly upwards and get to spawn. If you are underground, you hit the ceiling and you go owie.
If I remember correctly, sending text messages to Whiskey costs Whiskey money.
It does, I believe, but he also says it's okay every now and again.
Yeah, I know. I'm just hoping it'll get his attention faster than Steam is.
Well, yeah.
Because he's not on Evolve either.
Is he on
Swag,
Guild Wars
is he on Guild Wars 2?
Yeah, big surprise.
If anybody can get on Guild Wars 2 and tell him to get his ass over here, please do.
No, I'm asking Swag if he's on Guild Wars 2.
Oh.
No, I can get on.
I thought you were saying he was.
No, I'm busy recording. I'm busy recording a TeamSpeak screen at the moment, so I can't do anything.
I am about an hour and... No, I'm about 2 hours away. Well, just short of 2 hours away from having been up for 24 hours.
You're the sleepiest admin.
I'm not even sleepy actually at the moment. I'm doing pretty good. I haven't even had any caffeine and... Oh no, I drank Coke. Forgot about that.
Holy shit. You know those water bottles that have the silicone top that you have to like bite to get water to come out?
Yes.
I picked one up by that and accidentally squeezed it. And apparently I had left this in my backpack where it had evaporated and like stored up some pressure and it just squirted everywhere.
Yeah, I have one of those bottles.
I've got a Camelback somewhere.
When the water heats up and you first open it, the water shoots out.
I have soda called Lemonade. And it has a hammer and sickle on it.
Okay, I just messaged Whiskey.
Thank you.
Oh, was he on Guild Wars?
Yeah.
God
He's
damn
an
it.
Irons Arch.
Wow.
Buddy joined your channel.
Hi, Whiskey.
Hey, Whiskey.
Hello.
You're about 20 minutes late.
No, I'm not. I said 6 o'clock.
That message never came to me. I don't know who you said it to.
Or me.
Everybody
Okay,
else
then.
told me, yeah, 5:30.
Well, either way, you're 10 minutes early.
So, announcement on the server, or?
Yeah, let me pull up console. Hold on.
User joined your channel.
Okay, well, who's leading this meeting? Because I didn't call it.
Okay, hold on. Let me restart my TeamSpeak so I've got a fresh chat log to give to Noob and Orica since they can't be here.
Buddy disconnected from your channel.
Yeah, I think Mech's gonna lead it. Also, he's gone. He's really gone.
Buddy joined your channel.
Anyhow, I'm not actually sure who called it because I found out about it last night.
Well, I called the meeting, but I would appreciate it if you can lead it, Jack.
Yeah, I think you have the biggest grasp on everything that we need to talk about.
Overall, the
User
overarching
joined your channel.
area of concern for most of this is that a lot of people are not enjoying what we're doing with the server. There are numerous complaints. Most of them are that they're not liking factions. This includes the most successful group we've got at the moment, the Watch, which I thought actually was enjoying factions.
Okay, and what is the specific trouble areas on factions?
From a personal viewpoint, new players have a very, very hard time starting off. Primarily, I think it's that it's hard to find 4 other people that you trust enough to enter into a faction with. Outside of that, you've got other players that want the ability to build something that's not going to get destroyed. And from there, people are going to have to voice their opinions. Please don't all yell at once.
Krazer.
What?
So, what problems do you have with factions, Kraz?
Well, to start off, it scares away a lot of regular people. I have seen at least a dozen people, and I can even name them if you want to, leave the server because of factions. And these people were regulars before we switched to factions. The other thing is, I've not gone a day in the past 2 weeks where I haven't heard people bitch and whine on TeamSpeak about something related to factions. Thirdly, it scares away builders. It leaves only PvPers in the server. And the majority of the regulars are builders. We can't build anything good. We can build a little town maybe with a couple houses, and that's about it. And no matter what, if we do not have peaceful factions, we will be raided eventually. It's just a matter of time, and that makes people think, oh, it's not worth it building anything anyway, so why even play on the server?
Another preface with that I've brought up is that factions can be adjusted. There are settings we can change or put in place that are not being used.
See, the only one thing to do would be to give us peaceful factions. That would actually solve nearly every problem in that regard, anyway.
On the other end of that, you have other players that don't want peaceful factions because they think it defeats the whole purpose, and I don't fully disagree with that either.
I think
well,
if
would
we
pretty
had
much be turning us into a opt-in system for PvP, and then we had to decide if we want that. A lot of the benefits of open world PvP is that it's not opt-in.
I don't think it's so much the PvP end of things. It's so much the
You can't
non-permanence of
build.
the non-permanence of anything you create. The PvP, I think, is only a issue with a few individuals that seem to be hunting people around spawn, and that's a different problem altogether. I think most of the complaint is that nobody can build anything and actually keep it for any length of time.
Okay then. What do we still want conquerable territories?
No.
At all? Period. Not even opt in.
That's my opinion. I mean, if we could do it so some territory could be conquered, like a faction has like a set amount of chunks that can't be conquered, but if they want more, they will be conquerable. For example.
That's not something I think you can do default.
I don't think you can either, no.
Unless you were to be able to set a faction's minimum power level at 1 instead of 0.
See, another way would be doing a multiverse. I don't know if you brought that up yet, Jack, because I've been AFK and all, but...
No. No, it's just literally just started.
Okay. Well, I mean, a multiverse with 2 servers like PvP and then the regular old survival that we had like on the last map. Some people might say it splits the server, but then frankly right now we have already split the server. There's a lot of people that left because of factions. There's a lot of people that aren't playing as much as they otherwise would. So it's kind of hard to say.
Okay, then I want to pull this back then and pull it back into the abstract. Do we still want to be a open PvP server, or do we want to go back to the old hybrid system?
Personally, from a personal standpoint, I like the idea of having both. I'm not a PvP player at all. I enjoy it on occasion, but I enjoy it in more of a controlled atmosphere. Like, I enter into an area where I know I'm participating in PvP. So, like, if I were to join a Hungercraft game, I know I am playing PvP. So if we had 2 worlds, as Kraz had said, where one of them is the old style, and the other one is strict, what we've got now, everything is conquerable, nothing is necessarily permanent unless you're really good, and you have the option, you have that constant PvP back and forth, that'd be great. I'd still have fun with it. I know the concern there is that we would splinter the community, but I think the other end of that is we're looking at that, I think, I may be wrong, but to me it seems like we're looking at that from the perspective of the people we have in the server now and maybe a few others is everybody that we have, and not considering the fact that we may actually draw in more players that want to play on that particular world all the time.
Okay, the only concern I have is that currently we cannot set it up where the RPG plugin can operate on some servers and not the other. We would not want it to be able to have it where you can gain experience peacefully and then use it in PvP.
Okay, that is a pretty legitimate concern. So the MCMMO is not configurable by world?
I don't believe you can pretty much turn it off and on per world, I think. And if that's the case, we would need to choose which server gets it, in which case I would recommend that if we did do multiverse, we would have the hardcore survival RPG stuff still on the fashion server. And then, and I say server, I mean world, just ignore me.
I know what you mean.
There are some other concerns. We've been through this conversation before, several times actually. There's a lot of drawbacks to doing multiverse, and we will have to anticipate those if we were going to do that. The shared chat channel should work for that. We would need an easy way of getting back and forth between worlds that is still hard enough so you can't use it as a escape method. Should we allow multiple shared inventories, or should the inventories be set?
I think inventories should be separate per world.
They should
in this
reset,
case.
yeah.
Separate.
Yeah.
It prevents you from raiding and then hiding it in your safe place on the other one.
Or playing in the safe world and building up a bunch of experience and making a bunch of really great equipment and then taking it over with you to the other place. Granted, you'd probably lose it, but you're still giving yourself an edge to start off with, and that doesn't seem fair either.
Basically what we want is 2 different servers on the same server, I suppose.
I just
Okay.
want an alternative, like an extra thing, like whether it be PvP or just some mini game, even if it's just like Spleef on the server with like a twist that you can put in. Just something else to do other than build. Building gets so boring after a while.
Well, we've always had the option to go around to PvP, even when we did the survival server the other way with residents. It's a lot more of the focus with the setup we have now.
Yeah, but with all the residents and whatnot, it just gets annoying. And it just gets so easily abused. Like, you step right outside the radius of the resident, and then they can hit you, and you can't hit them. It's
I
just...
agree. I agree on that point.
But
it either needs to be PvP anywhere except for a peaceful faction, or you can't PvP at all.
yeah, but I think even on the peaceful, people would be okay with there being PvP in the faction itself, just as long as the land can't be taken or destroyed.
With a peaceful faction, no swag. If somebody's in a peaceful faction, they can't PvP with other players at all. Like they can't kill you, you can't kill them, unless they declare war and you declare war on them.
Which is why I don't like the idea of a peaceful faction being able to be made by players.
Yeah, that's...
What's going to stop a peaceful faction member from just following me everywhere?
But what are they going to do?
Everywhere I go.
Can
But what are they
peaceful
going to
faction
do?
members?
Scout, they can be used as a teleport target.
Good
There's
point.
a lot of things people can do with that.
That's something I wanted to bring up, because I think PTP should just be removed outright.
Agreed.
Probably.
Agreed.
PTP has been abused too much. We need to figure out a system that's a more both immersive and harder to with other players.
Why do we need it at all?
Because our main focus should always be to allow players to play with each other.
We have things. We have F-Home for factions, and then we found out that we inadvertently have a spawn command
We
through
have
MSDMMO.
throwing enabled. Spend 10 feathers, teleport to spawn.
Yeah, we just found that out recently.
Couldn't you put things in similar to what Heroes had? Where it was a long delay teleport?
What it mostly comes to is that we want a social atmosphere, and we want friends to be able to play together. Because friends playing together is what brings other people into the server. A good 10% of the people on the server are referred by friends. So we want to
User joined your channel.
have stuff like party teleport ability and stuff like that in some manner, just so when I spawn in, I don't have to walk 50 miles to my friend's place.
Go ahead.
Isn't there a teleport system where you request a teleport?
Yeah, that's TPA, and I think that's part of Command Book.
That would prevent people from being able to
User
teleport
left your
to
channel.
other players' factions where they're not welcome, because the person who is there would have to request it.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
The whole thing you just said, Whiskey, that's kind of ironic because our current setup has scared away at least 3 groups of friends. There was Swivelink and EJM1. There was Thatcher, Sergeant Scott, and all those people. There was the whole Yoshi Freak, Bonoluvu people, and I mean, none of them really logs on anymore because of factions.
The other end of that, though, might be what I brought up before with school, because they're all school age. They are all
they quit
grade
during
school, high
summer,
school.
though.
They left before
Perhaps.
then. And
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Forever Link, I know at least they kind of rage quit.
Yes. We've lost some people, and it was due to a bad deployment on our part. We did not know that Bucket would be this bad, and we wouldn't be able to get what we wanted. We thought we could roll it out over time, and that is obviously incorrect. We're going to pretty much have to roll it all out at once if we're going to go for that type of server. So we are going to need to, whatever we do, we're going to need to make sure we have a finished project, and we can't just say to people, don't worry, it will come in the future.
What about, if we're worried about teleporting, what about just have another highway that instead of, I don't know, perhaps we'd have a world that's our highway.
But you don't want people to know where your faction base is.
Yeah, if we use the teleport commands like TPA, if we stick to the one where you request them to teleport to you, We can disable that through factions as far as you can't use it when you're in an enemy faction, which will keep them from abusing it for PvP purposes. Yes, they could be outside of your faction and use it, but they can't stand in the middle of your base and bring their whole guild into your base suddenly to just kill you off.
I like that solution the best, personally.
Because factions can't disable the command from outside of the faction, but it can disable, as far as I know, any command, period, from any different plugin within an enemy territory. You can't use it. Because right now, TPA is one of the defaults that's disabled. And I don't know how it got undisabled, but I just re-disabled PTP.
Alright, and TPA is the one where person A requests person B comes to them?
One of them is, I'm not sure.
Okay. As long as one of them is that way, because that's
TPA is, yes.
Okay, that's the way it would work. Or the way we would like it to work, I think.
Is everybody actually in agreement with that, or am I just speaking?
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yes.
It's one solution.
Does anyone have any issues against it?
I don't know. I feel like there are other solutions, but none of them is as simple as what that is.
You
said that's where I would request someone else to come to me, and they'd have to accept? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so to pretty much abstract this, our basic thing is that we want to encourage multiple different playsets pretty much within the same server, and go all out on both sides. So we're not going to compromise, we're just going to have two worlds, one which will be in hardcore survival RPG, and the other which will be hybrid survival.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I would like if the RPG elements could be in both, but I know that's not feasible at the moment.
That is really not feasible, and if we did it in both, then people would just go to the peaceful one to level up and then use it in PvP.
User joined your channel.
So you can't have two separate databases for each world?
No.
That's annoying, yeah.
Yeah, the only way you could do that is if they were actually literally two separate servers, or two separate worlds running on the same server.
Is it possible, perhaps, for like some of the finished stuff in the hybrids to be maybe transferred over to the hardcore just to, make it look better?
I don't think that kind of would defeat the purpose of the hardcore. I don't know why there would be a reason to actually have stuff moved over, unless you were like
not inventory, just structures.
Yeah, I know, but unless like you were setting up an event specifically, I don't know why you would do that. I think part of the whole purpose of the hardcore would be if you built something impressive and managed to make it stick around, that would be the whole point of that achievement is, look, I could have lost this at any time and I've managed to make this stay here. So if you can build like some big tower and your little group of friends in whatever faction you've started or group can keep it around for any length of time, that's a bigger achievement.
Yep.
Okay, I agree with everything so far. The only thing is that we're going to have to do this very carefully, and we're going to have to roll it out as a full product because we cannot do the terrible launch we did for 1.3.
One of the concerns as far as having that is, do we want to stick with the economy that we've started for that hardcore survival?
Is there a reason not to?
Only if you wanted to streamline things. That's the only thing. Outside of that, I don't know of a reason to.
As far as the economy is concerned, I think we need some sort of income that just happens.
Natural and like
maybe not necessarily that, as opposed to maybe multiple places you could trade in emeralds. Because right now people are complaining about having to. Well, actually, if you add in TPA, that's not a problem. That's even with PTP, people should have been doing that the whole time.
Could you TPA to a NPC?
I don't know.
Well, as far as I know, you cannot.
Well, now that we have...
What about the command cooldown plugin, so we can do /spawn and avoid PvP that way?
Or just do PvP no command. I feel like
that was terrible. That was really terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, PvP no
an
command
equivalent
But seriously, command cooldown thing that takes 10 seconds to charge. A lot of servers use this and it works perfectly.
That sounds like a reasonable solution.
Also, emeralds occur in one biome and it's a finite resource, so if someone comes on in like 3 months from now, new to the server, there might not be a lot of emeralds around for them.
I brought
There's
that
at
up.
least 8 emeralds per chunk. Not 8,
well, it's not that, but I said that the minute it was suggested, and then we looked at the map, and I was way wrong. I looked at one of the smaller chunks we had on a map and looked at the x-coordinate and y-coordinate of a very small extreme hills that was in roughly a square. And when I calculated that out, again, I say this was one of the small ones, at an average of 5 emeralds per chunk, because there's 3 to 8, it came out to 30,000 emeralds in that one section. And there are much larger extreme hills areas. So there should be at least 100,000 some emeralds available, at least. And that's if you're not using this stuff you get for high levels of mining and fortune picks. That's just 5 emeralds, period, out of that chunk. 1 per emerald block.
Don't give away our secrets, jeez. But yeah, you're right.
That was my concern the minute we suggested emeralds being the currency, but it's unfounded. There's plenty.
It's unfounded, and not only that, but it generates conflict in PvP.
That's the only issue I have with having slash spawn, is I think there should still be the danger of losing them. I don't think you should be able to get an emerald, warp to spawn, and sell it off without any danger. But we do need something where people have some method of getting back and not having to walk clear across the map and take a half an hour of real time.
I like the idea of having a roaming, like a trading post, if you will. Just roaming around, say like every 2,000 blocks.
The issue with that is it doesn't exist.
Days.
You're talking about a plugin that probably doesn't exist.
Would it be that hard for one person to world edit a building and place a sign there, and then come back tomorrow?
Yeah, but how would we announce it that it has a new location? And how would we not be accused of favoritism by it being placed?
You can only have one.
Randomly generate cores from within the radius, and have an announcement, say every 30 minutes.
Whiskey,
You can set automated broadcast announcements.
What do you think of the idea of having small outposts placed certain distance from each other around the map?
Like in a circle?
Yeah, just at different areas on the map. They're all like probably, I'd say, at least 5,000 blocks away from each other. So you still have to walk for a good 5-10 minutes if you're really far. But it at least gives you multiple places you could go to.
Another option is having a faction pay like a substantial amount for.
We could even do it where the outposts were on the outer edge of the map.
We could do that, yeah. So we'd have one at the center and one at the edges, or one at each of the, I guess, cardinal points.
Give me a second, guys. Phone call.
Okay. Intermission.
Yeah, I noticed everyone's recording, or at least 4 people are recording. Is that available for anyone who's missed the first 30 minutes like I did?
I should be able to post mine, yeah.
Yeah, it's also available for Noob and Ulrika, because they have a vested interest in hearing what the outcome is, especially Ulrika, who will claw out one of our eyes if she does not get told what was talked about.
Okay.
I'm going to wait to answer that, Lord Nut.
Yeah, for the people that are using text, Whiskey normally doesn't read chat, so if you can speak.
If not, I'll bring up your points if I notice that, if I see it and I realize he's not responding to it. I do that a lot.
Okay, guys, we're going to have to do this quickly because my mother's flight is coming in early, so I need to pick her up from the airport.
Okay.
What mostly... I know that we do have some issues. I know that doing multiverse can solve some of those issues, but it'll also introduce new ones. If we did do this, we would need to do a comprehensive new suite of plugins and configurations to make sure that everything is ready to go before we deploy, and to not inspect it immediately. But I do like the idea. We can do something like this until we have the plugin development we want to do done.
In the meantime, I can disable PTP altogether, figure out how to enable TPA, and it's already disabled by default by faction, so you can't use it within an enemy faction. Do you want me to set up outposts on the outer edge, like near the world border?
On our current PvP server?
Yes, because I mean that's where we would use them anyway, as far as I can tell.
Yeah. Figure out mathematically a good distance between outposts. I would say like I don't know, 2,000 to 3,000 between each one, and then I think the world border is 15,000.
Something like that.
Circle.
How much time do we want people to have to walk for? But at max, if like they were the furthest distance from an outpost, like centrally located between three of them, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Well, if it's all around, the only way you would do it like a very, very long walk is if it was I can think real good at the very center of the point period thingy.
Okay, so right now we've got the one at pretty much the center point at spawn, right?
The vertex.
Yeah.
Because I actually don't even know where that sign is, to be honest. Because I haven't used it yet.
Yes, that is the center.
So then we would want to set up probably, I'm thinking 8, one on each of the cardinal points at the edge of the map. Would we want to have any others in between?
No, that sounds good.
Okay. So, at worst, you're walking 7,000 blocks, and that's if you're like right between two of them.
I feel like this could start up the whole Nether highway again.
I'm surprised the Nether highway hasn't started already, though I kind of understand why it hasn't. I'm gonna, I guess, well, somebody needs to probably start forum threads so that we can input ideas and get this organized, as far as what we're really specifically wanting and what we find plugin-wise that we have available for this. If I don't start it today, I'll start it sometime in the next 2 days because I'm going to be leaving shortly and I've been up for almost 24 hours. Other than that, was there any other big issues?
And I sincerely apologize for my absence. Guild Wars 2 has been taking a lot of my time. It'll be slowing down now that launch is finally over and I don't have to, be there all the time. And I just want to apologize for that, but it's been a long time since I've had an MMO pull me this much. That did me. It's just so good.
I think the only person that's not really playing other games is me, and that's just because I don't have money for Guild Wars 2.
But anyways, yes, is there anything else we need to cover?
Within the community meeting, nothing from me, though I am going to pull you down the staff before you run off.
Okay. I would like to schedule a staff meeting then to implement these changes.
Next week or sooner?
Preferably next week. I have a good friend from the Navy coming in that I haven't seen in a year this weekend, so I would rather have time with him, no offense. Yeah, so next week would be best.
If I can find a chat program or a chat plugin in the meantime that allows people to ignore players if it doesn't already exist by default, can I get Noob to install that? Because people are asking about that now in text.
Yes. Worst comes to worst, we'll do hero chat without custom chat channels.
Okay. Let me pull you down the staff then if nobody has anything else.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
Is there any way we could look into heroes again? And just see if they've changed any ways?
No, it's not their plugins, it's their terms of use.
It's not the plugin that is the problem. It's their licensing.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna like
They
anyone
have
checked
not.
recently if they've changed anything?
They have
Because I
not.
think Heroes is much better than MCMMO.
It is much better, but unfortunately, it is not. It is just absolutely impossible for us to use.
The other end of that is eventually we plan to make significant changes to MCMMO or do something different along the lines of MCMMO, but we're having to wait for Bucket or Spout to be done and stable.
Okay, I'm bad. Sorry about that. What was that?
That's good. I was telling Swag that we're wanting to do something similar to Heroes, but we're basically waiting on Bucket or Spout to become
Spout.
stable.
Yeah, Spout
Spout
or
preferably.
Spout or mineserver.be.
Yeah. Once theirs are stable, we really do want to have stuff like Heroes eventually. The default MCMMO is just what we're stuck with for the time being.
Yes.
The next question I had was, have you checked on Where recently? Because that was the most fun thing.
Yes, however, the basic idea cannot be implemented without lag. Because it has to pretty much check an entire chunk for changes and then restore that chunk to its previous state.
I see.
And it has to do that on every startup.
Anybody else have anything else?
Nothing I can do.
Okie dokie. I'm gonna steal whiskey down the staff to bother him real quick before he has to leave.
Buddy
Hi,
left
Whiskey.
your channel. Buddy was moved out of your channel. User
Well,
disconnected from your channel.
Yeah, I read that, Ninja.
We'll see, Lord Nut.
Yeah,
User
Nut,
in your channel stopped recording.
it seems we're going to a peaceful faction world.
Yeah, at the very least, we're gonna get peaceful factions, which is pretty good still.
I'm not sure I'm a fan of this.
It could be possibly because the amount of land you could claim over time.
But it just means it. Why not just go back to what we were having last time? Same thing, basically.
Because this
Oh,
will
we all.
also, there will be a world for the people who do want a PvP.
But it's the same world, right?
Look, this is basically the setup that we were promised from day one when we were changing the maps. It was changed like a day or two before we got the new map. And a lot of people were unhappy about it then, and we are still. That's basically the bottom line.
Yeah, this is what we originally thought. And yeah, Lord Nut, that's kind of why we're thinking multiverse, so we can compromise. We can have both.
User joined your channel.
I thought it was an idea to have factions at first, like I thought it was interesting, but like just besides watch, like all of the like little kids that get on and stuff just make it so annoying. On a side note, where has Jen McMuffin been?
He has his moments where he disappears.
I see.
He doesn't really rage quit as much as he just leaves.
User in your channel stopped recording.
What?
Lord not.